I've spent Christmases before in a hole in the ground. I'm a Marine. I was in the hole in Christmas this year too.
Matt Mirsky spent last Christmas behind bars, thrown into the Brazos County jail for not paying to support his wife before their ugly divorce was final.
4 white walls and not knowing what time of day or what day it was. 47 or 48 days. It's been traumatic. It's crushed everything that I've built.
We have the audio of a very unsympathetic Brazos County judge, Wendy Wood Henserling.
So get unhappy now, so that you'll be unhappy when you get the ruling, and you can just get happy afterwards, okay?
Henserling had ordered Matt to pay his wife more than $2,100 a month. That doesn't include another $1,100 a month for his children.
And that's when she said, go get 17 more clients and get another job. So it was a total, inequitable, impossible split.
Financially devastating for a guy who had borrowed COVID funds just to try to keep his business afloat.
Yes, it's athletic development in general.
He was losing money every month. This unelected judge had never met Matt Mirsky before an hour-long hearing. He testified for a couple of minutes, yet she had apparently decided he was shady and ignorant. That's what she wrote. And eventually, Matt ended up in jail on contempt charges, a bill that had now swollen to $67,000.
Felt like extortion. You pay this, or we'll see what 6 months in county does.
Common sense tells you if you put somebody in jail, they're not going to be able to pay child support.
Family lawyer John LeGrop says jail time for payment delinquency is a regular occurrence in the family courts.
They are very reluctant to find that somebody cannot financially afford to pay either child support or spousal support. Politically, it looks like they're not taking care of the children.
I don't think sufficient evidence was presented to support a finding of the amount of spousal support he was ordered to pay and the amount of child support he was ordered to pay.
Matt's lawyer, Ben Beveridge, says he'll try to get the court-ordered payments modified later on, but getting Matt out of jail was his priority number one.
Immediately, we're asking the appeals court to set a bond and let Matt out of jail while the issue is being decided.
The lawyers filed what's called a writ of habeas corpus with the 10th District Court of Appeals to get Matt out of jail while he kept fighting. It's usually granted in days, but for Matt, the request to the appeals court went unanswered for nearly 7 weeks, and the lawyers were shocked.
I've never seen anything take this long. We're both stumped, me and co-counsel.
Matt's father even staged a one-man picket outside the Brazos County courthouse.
One thing in our American lifestyle that should be fundamentally right is our judicial system, and it's gone awry.
Matt's father talked to a College Station woman, Fabi Payton, who uses her Facebook page now to advocate for a better community.
I try to speak up in places where nobody else would.
Her page has several posts about Matt's trouble, including an interview with him while he was in jail.
When you dig, all you find is dirt, so that's what we're finding.
I was happy to share a story and tell his truth so that others could be warned, be aware, or that people could come to his rescue.
And his dad's homemade sign was calling out alleged cronyism, corruption, oligarchy.
See, the bottom thing, this thing was stacked. That's what's so bad. If it wasn't stacked, I can live with anything. But it's stacked.
It sends up some red flags. When you file as a habeas corpus relief, it's just saying, hey, this guy is illegally detained at this point.
But was this unusual delay political? Mercy's ex-wife has a lawyer named Amy Banks, and her dad was a longtime lawyer and a judge in Brazos County. His obituary says he was embedded in the legal community.
Seeing that one of the judges was the pallbearer at the opposing counsel's father's funeral.
That's right. One of the pallbearers was Justice Stephen Smith of the 10th District Court of Appeals. He was one of the justices that was ignoring Matt's jailhouse cries for help.
Apparently the judge was friends or acquaintances with opposing counsel's father.
Justice Smith told us it would be unethical to comment on a pending case, but Matt's lawyers think Justice Smith should have recused himself.
If there's appearance of impropriety, a judge should back off, because litigants shouldn't have to wonder, is this happening because of this relationship? That shouldn't even be a concern.
So Ben Beveridge did an end around and filed another appeal to the Texas Supreme Court.
And 2 business days after the Supreme Court filing, now the appellate court responds.
Matt's ex-wife has picked 2 new fights, starting with that Facebook advocate.
His ex came after me. She's coming after me. She's currently trying to get me fired.
But what's worse, after Matt finally got out of jail back on January 30th, his ex now wants to take his kids away for good.
I'm doing all this for my kids. You know, I'm giving everything I have for my kids.
He was served with a motion to modify custody earlier in February, and she wants a protective order too. But there's never been an allegation in court that Matt has physically hurt his kids. These protective orders are being horribly abused in this state.
My 9-year-old was born on my birthday. She's my birthday present. There's no way I'm giving up my kids.
Because the way the system operates, if an individual wants to be excessive and retaliatory against another person, they can try to exploit the system.
I'm being set up every time there's something. Every time I turn around, there's a spin on anything I do.
And we've said it before, lawyers and judges seem perfectly happy to let the fight drag on.
They lose sight of the fact that when there's conflict between the parents, it harms the child. And instead of taking steps to protect the children by reducing the conflict of the parents, far too often the courts in their rulings encourage conflict.
Matt isn't just getting hit with more legal action. His ex-wife, she wants him to pay her lawyer as she tries to take away his kids. And he might have to because of another controversial Texas family law.
She got everything, I got nothing. She got all the money, and I went to jail. So it doesn't get any more inequitable.
And what goes on within a court case can crush an individual. It can destroy their lives.
LeGrave should know. He's got 32 years experience in the family courts.
The injustices that occur in the family courts are rarely ever spoken about, rarely ever talked about. And that's the truth. So it's good that there is coverage of this issue, and that's why I agree to do these interviews, and that's why I'm being interviewed.
Matt's friend Kim Thomas set up a GoFundMe page, this one, to pay for Matt's legal fees. So far, the fund has raised more than $15,000. Donors are recognizing the family injustice.
Well, you know, I just need a balance to life so I can move on and do best and grow and do what I need to do to raise my kids.